Happy to have Roger here. Roger's going to be speaking about audience-powered search, and Roger's been in this business for as long as it's been around. He started Search Ignite in 2004. He's been quoted and has had bylines in Ad Age, Forbes, CNN, Reuters. He's all the way from Atlanta, and we're excited to have him out and to talk a little bit about how Ignition One does audience-based search and how that really adds value to customers and businesses.
Thanks, Rod. Can you guys hear me? Yes, this thing is on. So, thrilled to be here today. Thanks, everyone, for coming out. This does sound very loud. All right, how is this? Is that better? Can people hear me? All right, so thrilled to be here. Thank you for Boost for co-sponsoring the event with us. I agree with Sean. I hope this is the first of many. And thanks for everyone's participation. Ignition One, like Rod said, I founded the predecessor company to Ignition One 11 years ago now. It's hard to believe. In 2004, we have our roots in search, and search is a big part of our business. But we do display, we do social, we do site personalization. We have a whole business around data management, our own DMP. So we really span the gamut of digital marketing. We have our own email system as well, an email service provider. So span the gamut of digital marketing across both ad tech and marketing tech. And to that end, really want to talk about audiences in general, and in particular, what I think is the most revolutionary thing to hit paid search, perhaps since I started Search Ignite 11 years ago, which is being able to power your search based on audiences. So I don't have the clicker. Where might that be? You left it right where you should have left it. Thank you. So that's me. So what is audience-powered search? Today, primarily is Google RLSA. It's the ability to target at the impression level for the first time for display. But it's really exciting, not only because I think Google's dipped their toe in the water on this, but I know that Bing and Yahoo are working on audience, different flavors, but audience-based targeting versions as well. I think it's absolutely revolutionary in two ways. Not only to fundamentally change the way you think about search marketing in general, but also to bring search marketing more into the fold in terms of the strategic decisioning that's being made at the CMO level for the first time. For the first time, you're going to be able to connect with consumers at the person level. So not guessing what ads you should show them based on intent after the fact when you see the search query, but understanding, again, at the impression level, before they click on the ad, who they are, and give them ad copy and understand how valuable they are to you so you can adjust your bid based on what you know about that consumer in advance. Nothing short of revolutionary as it relates to both profitability on paid search, but also intertwining search marketing with the rest of your marketing efforts. Marketing to personas has been around for a long time. I mean, I think the coin soccer moms were created in the 80s, for offline marketing primarily, but the idea of sub-segmenting different types of users that are alike and have particular marketing message that resonates with them. Those marketing messages for soccer moms might be in magazines or TV shows or whatever media they might consume. Marketing based on personas moved into digital, primarily with real-time bidding for display. I mean, it started with email on the paid media side, went to real-time bidding for display, and display has been marketing with personas for years, for most of the last decade, I would say. It's really complex, though, to think about marketing at the impression level in real time, and so there's a lot of noise around that. How do you get through that and cut through the clutter and market to your users with the right message at the right time? The good news is the industry has figured that out, but the bad news is that search marketers haven't been invited to the party yet, right? The search marketers are still kind of after the fact. So like 10 years ago, before real-time bidding came up with display, I mean, my view of the world is search marketing really took not only digital marketing, but the marketing advertising landscape by storm. For the first time, you could understand a user's intent in real time and deliver them an ad based on that message that was not implied but explicitly stated. And 10 years later, where are we? Search marketing is a huge part of the digital spend, but it is one of the least strategic parts of the digital spend when you think at the CMO level or the SVP level within the brand. And it's because, it's kind of viewed today as, as bottom of the funnel. Yeah, it's just DR. We don't know anything about the user in advance. After the fact we do, but we have to put a lot of budget there. But boy, I can really glean information about my customers and potential customers through my CRM system and through my social marketing and my listening endeavors. So the ability for search marketers to understand their audiences prior to the type, and they would combine the audience data, the rich audience data, third-party, first-party data, combined with the intent data. That has always been what's made search magical, is what we're going to talk about today. So welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. So search plus DMP. Ignition One has a DMP at the center of everything we do. We call it our marketing hub. Not here today to pitch Ignition One necessarily, but we believe that whoever vendors you use, having an audience-based system at the center of your marketing efforts is absolutely critical. We have a DMP at the center of our efforts. We have audience creation, audience analytics and insights, audience activation capabilities, the ability to understand who users are based on the normal financial information, geographic information, demographic information. We can combine that with information that we collect on your website to understand how engaged they are with your website and what kind of products they're interested in buying. We can combine that with first-party data, CRM data, sale history data, whatever might be live on the marketer's site to create this incredibly rich profile against which you can say you can target in real time on the search engine. So having a DMP at the center, I think, is really critical. Especially as the engines expand their capabilities for targeting at the user level. And you can repurpose audiences across the engines simultaneously instead of doing this separately in each engine. And each engine is going to have their own flavor of targeting and filtering abilities as well. And so kind of standardizing that's important and refining these in a central location. Augmenting this with first-party, third-party data would be unique as well. So you use a data management platform in concert with your search engine targeting. And when you do that, you can use a scalpel to get in front of your audiences instead of a hammer. That's really what it's about. So again, I applaud Google. I haven't seen Matt. It's Matt Lawson here, but look forward to hearing Matt talk later. I applaud Google greatly for kind of leading the way with kind of impression level targeting for the first time. But it's still a very blunt instrument. If you think about, it's really just retargeting segments. And you can modify the bid or modify the ad copy based on if a cookie's drop on a website after you pixeled it. Now they've recently come out with the ability to filter based on certain tag words that might be in the URL string, but it's still very relatively limited based on the kind of targeting you can do in other parts of digital media. If you combine a data management platform, and you can bring in this incredibly rich data set from a third party and then layer that on top of the audience segments that Google lets you create, and you can determine when to drop those cookies against that incredibly rich segment. And all of a sudden, again, you're doing surgery with the scalpel. And you can do it much more effectively and much more impactfully as well. And get down to the person level. Market to individuals. Or and individuals that look like these individuals. Instead of just behavior on your website, which is key, it's an important piece, but it's understanding who the individuals are and marketing to them in real time through search. So some examples of this, we, one of our clients who uses our data management platform is a hotel client. We were able to do research that, searchers that searched from New Jersey were most likely looking for hotels in Pennsylvania, and searchers that were searching in North Carolina most likely made reservations for hotels in South Carolina. And so by, in advance, creating audiences by state and propagating ad copy based on proclivity for where they might buy, and they do that in advance, we were able to increase by 20% conversion rates for individual users. Combining that with and engagement scoring. So understanding what's happening on your website, the kind of products that they've looked at, how engaged they have been, how long they've spent on certain areas, whether they're coming back frequently or not, enables you to understand how much to bid. How valuable are they? Are they ready to step over the finish line, or are they just kicking tires? It helps you improve profitability as well as getting the right message in front of them. And ultimately, giving them the right ad. So giving an individual consumer who's most likely to stay in a certain location the right ad, no matter what device they're on. Whether this is person-based marketing, so understanding an individual user and giving them the right ad, whether that's on desktop or whether that's on mobile, paid or earned, whether that's on the organic listings or on the paid listings, and giving it based on context. We mentioned context before. In this case with the hotel client, giving them an ad for the right hotel with the right message based on who they are, with the right bid price based on how valuable they are to you, with the right hotel in the copy based on physically where they are. You can do all this in real time. For people that are searching for a hotel on a device in which you can determine context, like a smartphone or tablet. And it becomes very exciting when you start grouping this together with display and with other channels that you're working on. If you target the same personas, the same audiences, and create lookalike segments for those audiences, and then you can coordinate efforts across search and display and other channels, it creates a compounding impact, a virtuous cycle, if you will, of improving performance across the board. And more important, improving key learnings across the board. What I've seen is in most organizations, the key learnings that you're seeing in display and search in particular and social, they're also different in the ways you manage them. That outside of some very broad themes around types of messages that work, the learnings from each don't carry over very much. But the ability to kind of centralize audience creation and optimization and carry that through all of your channel execution becomes vital. So guess what? I picked a case study where the performance improved across the board, but it did. But it did. We were doing search and display for this client for a long time. And we integrated our data management platform. We did a holistic view. We started doing RLSA targeting and targeting based on geo and better creative optimization. And on the marginal dollars, increased dollars they invested at a 12-to-1, dollar earned to dollar spent. I think their ROI on the campaign improved 21% across the board, which is increasing dramatically the spend and improving the ROI at the same time is a neat trick to do. It was wildly successful, and what's even better is that it's continued to improve over time because putting tools in the toolkit, doing surgery with the scalpel for the first time enables you to keep learning and keep getting better. So this only works, though, and this is getting back to your audiences, if you give them the right message. So many studies have said there's so much concern about privacy in marketing, and rightly so. But so many studies have shown people actually don't care if you're using information you know about them to market to them if you make it relevant. And if you make it relevant, then it's a benefit. And if you don't make it relevant, they feel violated. So it's incumbent upon everyone to make it relevant. And I think that from a creative perspective is very vital, but being able to target individuals to give them the relevant message makes it that much more powerful. And bringing this back to search for a second, if you're looking for a size 10 boots, what creative do you give them? Is it this or is it that? All right, the more you know about your audience, the better you can target your audience. If you're looking for a Giants jersey, this is relevant for tonight. You're looking for the San Francisco Giants or the New York Football Giants, for example. Fanatics is a client. This is very relevant for them. Understanding based on search, which can mean lots of different things, understanding your user base and understanding that audience gives them the right copy in advance. You can do this on search. Understanding if it's a repeat customer or not. When somebody types in hotels near AT&T Park, and as a hotel client, what copy should you give this person? If you're using a DMP at the center of your activities and publishing that with, in this case, it'd be Google RLSA, different copy for a repeat customer or loyalty customer versus somebody you've never seen before. As a loyalty customer, you get a free upgraded room, click here. Very, very relevant. We talked about this before. Based on engagement scoring, this is actually a little screenshot from Ignition One, understanding what's happening on the website. How many times has a visitor been to the website? What kind of media have they interacted with to get them there? What kind of ad copy? How likely are they to convert, and what products are they interested in? But all that information helps you know how valuable they are to you. So bid modifiers on Google, and then forthcoming on the other engines to say, this, I have to be top of the page for this person. Or this person, I want to be on the first page, but at the bottom of the first page. So let's bid down. But I want to show this person an ad, or I don't want to show this person an ad at all. Let me do a bid modifier based on certain exclusionary buckets you might want to create as well. This is what you're after, right? We're all after this. Happy customers, people that are buying things, and people that are come back and buy things. So target this person with what she wants to hear, and you'll make it successful. But you need to look at this person this way. It really comes down to this, right? It's an individual, but that you have lots of individual data points around this person, consolidating those in one place, having one version of the truth, and then letting that expand itself into very targeted, customized messaging for this individual. Is how you get that happy customer. Think about your whole audience, how you want to segment that entire audience into buckets of audiences, and how you might want to change ad creative and bid optimization based on that. Always start with low-hanging fruit, because there's a lot of low-hanging fruit. I can tell you the industry is, I won't even say it's dabbling yet into audience-based marketing for search. There's so much opportunity out there with the innovations happening at the engines, but just to take advantage of what Google currently offers today could dramatically impact your search marketing efforts. Get tags on the website. Start collecting audiences and making those audiences bigger, and then start targeting them. But get going. And if you're not already, get going. Find the lowest hanging fruit opportunities. Do testing against it. Be ready for the fourth quarter. And always think cross-device. Whatever you do from a data and audience perspective, you really have to think cross-device. We live in a multi-device world. So whatever vendors you work with, make sure you're thinking about attribution and credit for conversions on a cross-device basis. So that is, and then let us figure out how to make it all work for you. It is a little complicated, but that's why you need a good partner. It's not very difficult to execute, but it's complicated to set up and make work. So find a great partner, and we'll make it work in the background. What we will give you is a nice, clean data partner handbook for you to read, and we'll make all the systems work together. So that's all I have. But glad to be here. Thank you. Is there any questions? Who's using RLSA ads right now with Google? 2 shy hands. 3 shy. That's it, really. That's really. Has it been successful? Are you doing it a serious way? Dabbling? Okay, we'll talk later over beers. I think this does nothing but validate. We work with some marketers that have really embraced this and have said, big enterprise brands we all would know, significant spends, that have said, I want every ad that's being bought, not only on search, but in display and everywhere, through a series of audiences that we manage essentially through our DMP. And so we have major clients, that every ad on Google is bought in a waterfall way through a series of audiences to make sure if it's a repeat customer, if it's a new customer, if it's a customer at the end of, this customer's product is going to expire, that's a different bucket. They need to see different creative, the different bid modifier, and it's worked amazingly well. So it's a paradigm shift, and it's a different way to think about search marketing. It's a way other marketers in other disciplines of digital have been thinking, but it's a way that search can take back leadership from a thought perspective in the marketing departments at brands, and even kind of lead in that area. So I encourage encourage all of you to think more seriously about it. And please reach out to me, grab me later. My email is roger@ignition1. But thanks, everyone. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Roger.